Relief and succor have come the way of evacuated Nigerian students from war-torn Sudan for the completion of their education. Details shortly. Similarly, the Nigerian Students Alumni Association Sudan have commended the federal government for a prompt evacuation of all students from Sudan without the loss of any. And the students, by way of appreciation, bestows a medal of recognition on Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa. Details shortly. And NIDCOM's boss engages the Irish envoy for strategic diaspora investment. And that's not all. The UK Labour Councillor Abigail Marshall Katung visits NIDCOM. She expresses happiness to engage more regularly with her home country, Nigerian. Plus, a Nigerian in Sierra Leone, Mr. Abiodun Oyetola, appeals for diaspora voting in 2027, and former special advisor on diaspora affairs to Benue State Governor Peter Ichuli speaks on his engagements with NIDCOM. On our complimentary segment, we have our ANPA doctor with health tips, and of course our diasporan of the moment. Please stay with your favorite program, The Diaspora, and I'm your host, Koinsola Adetumbi. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede has given the assurance that Nigerian students recently evacuated from Sudan will be fully engaged in Nigerian universities, but must follow the process accordingly. He stated this when the NIDCOM's boss, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, came calling. Please watch.
We're here on behalf of our students from Sudan. On arrival, they only had one thing on their minds. One is, thank God we're home. Secondly is, what about our education? And we know that we had worked with you during the last crisis of Ukraine. So we thought we should come to you so that you can guide on the processes for those that might want to continue their education. Is there going to be a stopgap? Now, a lot of them said to me, we want the war to be over so that we go back. Some have just one semester to go. Some are in other years, but we want you to guide them and us all on the processes for those who want to continue their education here. Some said some of the universities have online courses. So if you have universities here that can partner with them and continue their online courses, some don't have whatsoever. But we believe that JAMB is the appropriate authority to come to so that they are properly guided.
JAMB has, with understanding with the institution, we have standard practices for this type of situation. And this is the same document we provided for you, for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the National Assembly, for Medical and Dental Council when Ukraine crisis was on. The procedure will be given to you, ma, and I believe you will pass this to the parents and ensure that universities comply. NUC, I can speak for the National Universities Commission, given our interaction during the Ukraine crisis. And I can say that the Nigerian Universities Commission will be ready to partner with you and with us to ensure smooth transition of the returnees.
Nigerian student evacuees from Sudan have come to say thank you to the federal government for prompt evacuation of stranded Nigerian students in Sudan. Please watch.
At the beginning, there was high tension. I was one of the parents that remained silent because I know what is happening. I'm connected with you people without knowing that I'm with you, but I have some people there, like Dr. Nasser Gorzo, the PAMSEC humanitarian. He was my very good friend, so we are discussing. And I have some embassy officials also. So that is why I remain silent, because I know if you can go by the social media, you'll be led wrong. So what we did was to continue calming the children there down, to be rest assured that Nigerian government will evacuate all. And now it has become a history. Everybody was at home now. So we sincerely thank the federal government of Nigeria. We acknowledge that Nigeria is for Nigerians. The government of Nigeria is for the Nigerians also. So Thank you very much, Madam, for your time, and the rest of your members, they have done well. You sleep, wake up with them in mind. We will now hand over to you a medal of recognition. It is an award to recognize your effort, Madam. You did well. No Nigerian that's lost his life there. All of them were evacuated through your effort. We thank you very much, Madam.
Thank you for this. I'll say I received this on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria. And I want to say, you see, a lot of times you only hear the bad side, not the good side. But we're glad that the Sudan University's alumni in Nigeria decided to present me with this plaque. We worked together as a team. Big gratitude first is to Mr. President, who immediately heard that, said, listen, go to work and get this done. And we worked with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Humanitarian, Refugee Commission, NEMA, the military, immigration. So really, I received this on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, and thank you very much. And like she said, one of the things we did was, keeping information alive, letting you know, look, this is what is going on. I think that is very important, particularly communicating with the people. Fine, it was tough. There was anger. Tempers were high. There was anxiety. Parents didn't know what happened to their children. But anyway, the good thing is that no Nigerian life was lost in Sudan.
Good job, Mama Diaspora. The Irish diaspora pulled its country out of recession, and that's why the NIDCON boss is engaging with the Irish ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Peter Ryan.
It's really a pleasure to receive you here. We have used the Irish diaspora many times as an example of what the diaspora should be. And I recall that when Ireland was in recession, a couple of thousands of Irish diaspora got together and saved Ireland from recession. I know that your diaspora, is quite a lot, but we now have a diaspora commission, and we've been engaging with our diaspora, and we think there's a lot to partner with you, to learn from you about how you engage your diaspora, and what more can we work together and learn from each other. So thank you, Excellency, for visiting. I want to hear more from you on how you engage your diaspora.
Our journey is an interesting one. I'm sure we've made lots of mistakes along the way, but we've made some friends along the way also, and we come with a partnership approach. And we often say that the greatest treasure we have is our diaspora. It was not a plan by Ireland, but it's a feature of our historical experience. And it's very important for us that we treasure our diaspora around the world. We don't always have the same emergencies like you've experienced in Sudan, and thank you and congratulations for the success of that. I think that shows in practice. When you care for the diaspora, you care for them in good times and bad times. And our diaspora existed for us a long time before our independence, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. We value them every day. We try to find a connection with them every day. We like finding them, we love hearing their story, and we love connecting them to other people. Because one thing I learned in the diaspora world is, no story is unique.
That's true.
Somebody has been there before. And if we can help make it easier for the next people to come, and we are blessed. You have 60% of your population aged under 25. We have 40% of our population aged under 25. The youngest population in Europe, you've got the youngest population in Africa. Your people are excelling around the world. They're excelling in Ireland.
We take a short break. Please stay with us.
The diaspora has all the potentials. Nigeria diaspora are the most educated immigrants anywhere in the world. America knows that and they say it. The same thing with our diaspora all over the world. So what are we doing about that? The African diaspora needs to be engaged more. The African diaspora needs to pay more attention to the African continent. This is about us coming together wherever we are in the world. We must make sure that Africa does not lag behind. Africa must take its place where it should be, on the top of the mountain. We have everything, we have the resources, we have, most importantly, the human capital. The best professionals in the world are Africans. Africans are all over the world developing world economies. Come home and develop your own continent. Come home and develop your country.
Abigail Marshall is a UK-based Nigerian with so much ties with her country. Please watch.
I'm very, very passionate about education, and I've always been a huge ambassador for education, and thanks obviously to my late dad as well in imbibing that into us. And I remember after completing my education and I started my own business, I specialized in medical recruitment as well as educational recruitment. So before I went into politics, I was actually recruiting students from Nigeria to the UK to come and study. My younger sister has also now taken that over because she's also in the education system based in the Diaspora herself in Birmingham. So she is in charge of Ulster University, University of Northumbria, as the regional director for Africa, Asia, and the America. So she's responsible for students coming from these countries into the UK to study. So as a family, that's something that we have continuously done. So anyone around here, especially northern Nigeria, because I'm a northerner and this is where I know very well. And if you look at the statistics, especially with the girl child education, we are lower ranked than other states in the country. So we tend to pay a lot of attention to the girl child in northern Nigeria. But sadly, it's more, not sadly, but it's more private students and not government students, because we believe the government will take care of the students. But those students who would love to come and study and just don't know how to do it, we're always there to assist them. So in terms of education, that has been what I have been doing. As soon as I got elected in 2019, I also set up a mentoring scheme, whereas I mentor 12 young women every year. So I take 6 per 6 months, because obviously with my job, being a wife and being a mother and being an elected member is a lot. Outside of that, I'm also an athlete. I still run. I'm an England's athletics coach. So I specialize in sprinting. Yes, and I coach under 15 children in sprinting. So I do lots of other stuff, which takes a lot of my time. So when it comes to the mentoring, I choose 6 young girls, 4 of them from Nigeria and 2 in the UK.
We celebrate Nigerians wherever they are. Like I mentioned to you, we have a program we call the Diaspora on the national television. It's hosted 4 times in the week. And every week, we also identify a Nigerian in the diaspora who is doing very well, and christen him the diaspora of the moment. And we were so pleasantly surprised. Our team chose you as our diaspora of the moment last week. So it ran throughout the week, 4 times on Nigerian television station. I think the YouTube link is available. You can also watch it. So we welcome you to the commission, and we look forward to engaging with you. Like I said, the commission was set up for the diaspora. It was requested by the diaspora. So you have no reason whatsoever not to relate with Nigeria through the commission. If you have any questions, we are really available 24/7.
The Diaspora Voting Bill should occupy the 10th National Assembly to ensure diaspora voting in 2027. Mr. Abiodun Oyetola, President Nido Sierra Leone, is waiting for this to happen.
Welcome to the Diaspora this week. This week we'll be talking with a Nigerian based in Sierra Leone, a philanthropist, an industrialist, an engineer. How long have you been in Sierra Leone?
I've been in Sierra Leone for about 15 years. Yes. When people are talking about brain drain, I think it's time we converted that to brain gain for Nigerians. We have learned a lot in the diaspora, and we are willing to come back home. All right, the new government, as far as I'm concerned personally, it's gone beyond party. It's gone beyond party now. It's not APC, business now is Nigerian projects. So we must come back home. All the experience we have abroad, we bring back home to support the government, to build our nation, to put our nation in the forefront in Committee of Nations.
The present president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was also a diasporan. Now is the president. What do you think the president should do for the diaspora, for the Nigerian global diaspora community?
Well, once again, I want to congratulate him, right? And I wish him the best, because his success is our success. We must support him. If we support him, it's going to be well with us as Nigerians. If we don't say we want to do a gang up against him, it's not him, it's against the government. And who really wants to suffer? So we don't want to suffer, so we want to bring all hands on deck. And we expect him, all right, our demand is very simple. We want to have diaspora voting. We want to have a say in the government by our votes.
People will be asking, why is it that the diaspora is insisting that they should vote? Why do you think you should vote?
It's our civic responsibility. It's our right as citizens of Nigeria, anywhere we are. For instance, to come to Sierra Leone, I know it cost my people over 25 million naira to come back home. The few that could come home, to travel, to go by road, by the time they want to come and register, with all the risks, right, to come and register, to come and vote. These are the things we could do naturally, easily, if we pass that diaspora voting bill, all right? And the money we are contributing, a lot will come into the economy, into the government, into the economy in Nigeria, if the diasporas are engaged with and given this opportunity to come and do more business at home.
The former special advisor to the Benue State Governor on Diaspora Affairs, Reverend Peter Ichu, speaks on NIDCOM's engagements.
What have you been able to garner throughout your experiences with NIDCOM engagement with its diaspora?
Yeah, NIDCOM engagement has been has been purpose-driven, and it is to encourage diasporans to invest back home, both in remittances, financial remittances, and intellectual remittances. This has been made possible. My engagement with Benue State diasporans has been very positive. The response has been positive. We have most of them investing back home. We have most of them doing things back home and even participating in the politics of the country.
Thank you. All right, another issue that has dominated discourse throughout your tenure and up to now has been the issue of diaspora voting. Should Nigerians in diaspora vote?
Yes, they should vote because they are already contributing to the economic development of the country, and they have made so much positive impact on the economy already. They should also, it is only fair that they should also be given a chance to choose their leaders of their choice.
And now to our complimentary segment with the Association of Nigerian American Physicians in the Americas.
Today I'd like to talk a little bit about high blood pressure. High blood pressure, which is elevated blood pressure, is something that is a very common chronic illness that affects a lot of people. When you say your blood pressure is elevated, it could be episodic or long-standing. And long-standing would be a blood pressure greater than 140/90 that is documented at your medical evaluation for more than 3 episodes. When your blood pressure is elevated, it could be from a number of associated illnesses. But the commonest one that affects people is called essential hypertension. And this is hypertension that occurs that is a chronically elevated blood pressure in the absence of any other predisposing reasons or diseases. And it requires ongoing care and intervention. One of the things, or some of the things that help to address high blood pressure, are the need for lifestyle modification. That includes drinking plenty of fluids, avoiding salt, losing weight, having your weight be closer to what is expected, which is based on your height, but everyone could do to lose a little bit of weight, and trying to be active and exercising so that your blood vessels are pumping blood regularly to your different organs and is associated with lowering your blood pressure. Despite all this, and even with people who have healthy habits, you could still require medication. And the thing is, if you are needing medication as a hypertensive or being diagnosed with high blood pressure, you have to take it every day. What happens a lot of times is people take the blood pressure medicine for a few days, a few weeks or months, and then stop. And then the elevated blood pressure is associated with end organ damage, which could be strokes if it affects your brain, heart attacks if it affects your heart. It could affect your ability to walk around and be mobile. If you had a stroke, it could affect your kidneys, and then you require dialysis. These are all reasons why you need to take your blood pressure medicine regularly to prevent end organ damage and decrease the injury to these organs due to the chronically elevated blood pressure. To have an idea of what your blood pressure is, you should check it regularly, probably if you could every day, but you don't have to check it every day. You need to have a regular understanding of how high it is so that you can manage it accordingly.
And now over to our diasporan of the moment.
Our diaspora of the moment is Dr. Ijeoma Akunyili. Dr. Ijeoma is a Nigerian-American based medical practitioner. She is the first daughter of the late Dora Akunyili, former Director General of National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, and the ex-Minister of Information. She graduated summa cum laude from the University of Pennsylvania and attended the University of Maryland School of Medicine. She completed her emergency medicine residency at the McGovern Medical School at UT Health Houston. Dr. Ijeoma earned an MPA in International Development from the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University and an MBA from the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. She is now the first African American medical professional to serve in that role. Dr. Ijeoma has vast leadership and advocacy experience and is currently serving as the president of the Connecticut College of Emergency Physicians. Before her recent appointment, she served for several years on the board of directors of Texas and Connecticut Colleges of Emergency Physicians. She was an assistant professor of emergency medicine at Baylor College of Medicine, Houston, Texas, and she is currently a clinical assistant professor of medicine at Yale University. Recently, Dr. Ijeoma made history after being named the new chief medical officer at the Jersey City Medical Center in the United States of America. Congratulations, Dr. Ijeoma. We celebrate you as our diaspora of the moment.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of The Diaspora. Join us same time next week for a bumper package. And I remain your host, Koinsola Adetumbi. Bye for now.